Very little time. Yes.
Okay, Avatar Meher Baba. Ki Jai. Meher Baba. Ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba. Ki Jai.
Jai Baba to all of you. I hope you can hear me.
Yes.
Yes. Today, I was just wondering as to what last time I had left out a topic about the masters, about the guru or the masters. But then today I have not taken that topic. Today I'll be talking about Baba's father, Sheriyarji. Sheriyarji. And at the outset, I would just pray to Baba that if any wrong opinion or wrong thing goes out of my mouth, he would please forgive me for that. Because whatever I will be telling you is based on my own understanding, my own perception, my own logic, and it may be correct or may be wrong. And there may be a scope for further discussions on that. But then whatever I feel today, I will just put up for you. All these sessions which we are having here in the Friday meeting, they should be taken as just give and take of our thoughts on various topics. Because many of you people must have read Baba's story, life story through Lord Meher and other books also. So if at all you have already read it, but then by exchanging our thoughts on that particular topics or particular persons or the way, we can just share with each other that, and that should be the purpose of these Friday meetings. And that is why I have taken the topic of Sheriyarji. The spelling is a little strange spelling. Shahar, Sheher, and dash Yar, Y-A-R, Sheheryar, Sheheryar, Shehar, dash Y-A-R, Sheheryar. The meaning of this word is emperor, big meaning. But then when Sheryar came to India, for the sake of convenience, he has got his name changed to adopted a name according to the habits of the Indian people. That spelling was changed to Sheher, sorry, Shehiar, Shehiar. So now we are talking about Shehiar. As we know about the childhood of Shehiar, because we have already read his father was a keeper of a Tower of Silence, and then the cost is to be brought there, and all that. So much of information we have already got through the books. But there is a certain critical points which I would like to discuss today. Once in the month of May, when Baba was in Pune, Baba was in Guruprasad, Baba had made some remarks about his father. that I would just like to read those remarks. There are beautiful remarks about Shariaji, which Baba has passed. Just a minute. Yes, I had dropped my specs down on the floor. Anyway, the remarks that Meher Baba had made, fortunately, there were few people, few in the sense that regular visitors were there and our Bhajan Mandali members were there. I was fortunate to be there, and Baba was talking about his father. What Baba had said about his father is, Shariar is true person, true Persian name, which means monarch or emperor. There was no one else like him on earth. That is, Meher Baba says, there was no one else like him on this earth. He was unique. He did not know fear. He did not know fear. He was matchless. He was a monarch in dervish robe. He was a monarch in dervish robe. Now, after this, these were the remarks which Meher Baba had made. And in addition to that, he had said that at this point, Baba referred to Shariarji as his father, my father. That's what very rare about Meher Baba. What he said is my father. He was a real fakir. What Baba said that he was a real fakir, not the fakirs who are begging for alms. Not that type of fakir. He was a real fakir. He had renounced everything and he was real fakir. And with these remarks, Baba had concluded that topic in Guruprasad then. So Baba had such a high opinion about Shariarji. And Shariarji was a rare type of person. As Baba said, that there was no one like him in the whole world. Now, at the age of 12, he has left his house with the permission of his father. Who were the members of that family? Shariar's mother was no more there. She died at early age. Thereafter, Shariar had one brother and one sister. The sister's name was Piroja. She was responsible for retaining Shariar in Pune. Piroja. She was too much in loving Mirwan. Mirwan was her favorite child. So that Piroja, then Shariar's brother was also there. These were the only father, Mandegar. These were the people who were in that house. And the earnings were very meager earnings. They were, it looks that they were pulling on somehow because that duty on the at the silence of Tower of Silence was not a very good paying duty. It was a very ordinary duty, and the family was running on that. So that is one of the factors I feel which was prominently troubling this family. Now, at the age of 12, Shariar asked his father that I am going out in search of God. I wonder at that age, the age of 12, one wants to go in search of God without knowing anything about the future, without having made any provisions or any arrangement for the future. He just wants to leave the house. And more surprising is that all the people in the family, they allowed him. They allowed him to go. In fact, in our family, a single member is not seen for a long time. People will keep on worrying about him. But here, that boy, young boy of 12 years, he leaves the house in search of God, and without knowing his destination, without knowing his means of livelihood, he just leaves the house. And the family also allows him to leave the house. It is somewhat very strange. Somewhat very strange. And here a thought comes to my mind that the inability to run the house, that can also be a reason for allowing such a young boy to leave the house. Of course, this is my thinking, and if I am wrong, Baba, I pray to Baba, please excuse me. But then one thing, that at that age, to go out in search of God is, to my mind, it looks unlikely. Anyway, now he leaves the house at 12, at the age of 12, and thereafter he wanders to several places. His living has been so very, what should I say, so very hard and uncertain. He must have taken a couple of clothes along with him, and he was going out, wandering from here to there and there to there, and from places to places, for all the religious places, all the famous places of worship, and so many. But he must contact also so many people in that wandering. Now, this boy, moving from one place to another, he was wandering like a dervish. Dervish is a person who has left his life, family life, everything in life, and he goes on searching for God. That is dervish. And this boy, at that age, he started behaving like a dervish. Now, a thought comes to my mind that, does one's mind can be matured enough to start searching God? And that too at that age, and that too without any means of livelihood. It's a great step, very great step. No ordinary man will dare to take it. But then Sharia just goes away, and what his life was, very precarious life. He used to beg for food. Whenever hungry, he will beg for food. Whatever he gets, he will eat it. And then any place, any open place, any under a tree or by the side of a wall, anywhere he will sleep will pass the night and then keep on wandering from one place to another. I say it's a very rare example, I would say, a rare example of the austerity. Such a hardship for the sake of God. And then an incident, I would quote an incident which happened during the course of his wanderings. He had learned Persian. He was not educated. He had never taken any school education. But then, out of by virtue of his wandering from place to place, he had acquired some knowledge about Persian language, then Hebrew language, and some other language. I will have to refer to any 2-3 languages he knew, and then on that basis, he had written book, two books in Persian. He has written 2 books in Persian, and whenever he goes from place to place, it looks that he must be conversing in Persian only. At one place, the young boy, in the robe of a dervish, when he is walking through the streets, there is a bakery where these bread butters have been are cooked or prepared. So there, she asked for a loaf of bread for the evening meals. Now looking at this young boy, very smart boy, in that strange robe, in this strange look like a dervish, that the owner of the bakery had developed sort of a good attraction for the child, for the young boy, and he gave him a loaf of bread. In the meantime, the same time when this bread was given to that boy, one Islam priest, he appeared there, and he said that, and when he appeared there and approached that bakery owner, the owner said that now your share of, I give you every day a loaf of bread, but today that share is given to this boy, so you are not likely to get anything now today. And that person got wild. He said, how dare you give that my share to that boy? And I am a real fakir. I am a real fakir. That boy is a fake. He is a boss. And then there was much caller show. This boy was keeping quiet, but that man was started shouting on that bakery owner and made a big show, and all the people gathered there. What has happened? What is happening here? And they were wondering that why this man is abusing that young boy. Then they came to know that the reason for this all quarrel, and ultimately that person, that Muslim priest, he he said ultimately that if this boy is claiming to be a dervish or a true fakir, I will challenge him. I will challenge him with few questions. He should give answer to my questions. If he is successful, then of course one can consider it. But then I don't think he will be able to answer my questions. All the people with the Sharia was not inclined to indulge into this sort of a challenge and re-challenge and that sort of call. But then all the other people who were keen to settle this matter in favor of the boy, they instigated that boy, you accept this challenge. Let there be discussion. Let there be a sort of a question answers. Let him question. Then you better you answer. And then that man started asking question and very satisfactorily. Every question was answered very satisfactorily by this boy, young boy. He has a he has a sense of humor, and very joyfully he answered all the queries, all the questions. And that momentum priest had bad face to show. He ran away from there, and then that boy could get good supper for the night. That is how his life was going on. At one place, what happened is that there were 3-4 people, including himself. There were 4 people who had come together, and they had started walking. At one stage, they were halting under a tree, and they started boasting about their own strength. One of them said that even the tiger comes before me, I will crush him. I will crush the tiger with my hands. Another said that I will, merely by my look, I will make him keep quiet, that tiger. And third says that I will sit on the back of the tiger and run like a horse. And this boy is keeping quiet, not boasting, because he thought, I do not possess all these occult powers. So let us better to be silent. And they walked further, and what happened there after that? That the big snake comes there. What is called python, and they all ran away. 3 people ran away from there, fearing that creature. And this boy, he was left alone. He took a big stone and crushed his head. But even then, though when they ensured that this is killed now, they came and started boasting again against the boy. Such incidents there are many, and in that search for about 8 years, no result was coming to his satisfaction. He has met so many people, so many saintly personalities. He had visited so many shrines, so many religious places, but at no place he could get a mental satisfaction. And ultimately, he decides to shift to India. His elder brother, was about to go to India, and Shiryarji made his program to go along with his brother. And then he comes and lands in Mumbai. There, that brother, Shiryarji's brother, got a job in some shop, and he wanted Shiryarji also to get employed in the same shop. Shiryar also starts working in that shop. Thereafter, his practice of sitting all alone, repeating the name Yazdan, 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 it goes on by the side of the work. This repetition and this penance and all this is going on. It goes on, and then that person, that owner of the shop, he was feeling little awkward about it. And then he started troubling this boy. And at some point of time, he abuses because of something, some mismanipulation or something of that sort. And that the boy thought he's no use working at such a place where they have no faith. And he left the job. All that, all that pay which he got, 2 rupees he has kept with him, and rest he distributed to all the people. And with that two rupees, he started his life in India. The the same life of wandering from place to place. This went on for 10 years. 8 years there, 10 years here. And thereafter, he happens to come to Pune. Poona, then they used to call Pune, the Britishers used to call it Poona, but the name has been corrected to Pune now, Mumbai and Pune. Then he came to Pune, and his sister Piroja was there. She had also, in the meantime, she must have also come and stayed in Pune. They started staying at in the camp area, the area called the Butler Mohalla. Mohalla means a locality. Butler Mohalla, Butler means butlers working in the hotels. And where the Baba is now situated, in the same area, Firoza started staying there. His boy come there, and then by virtue of he wanted to leave after some time. After a few days, he stayed with his sister, but then after he wanted to resume his wandering, to which Firoza took very strong objection, rather to say she requested, it is enough now, going from place to place and wandering on the streets without food and without sleep and without rest. It's no good life. Better you settle in Pune. And that is how he started living in Pune. But then Piroja was not to allow him to sit quiet or live quietly. She started warning over his marriage. And we all know that story about that marriage. But one some of the very funny incidents will I'll tell you. When the marriage ring was put in the finger of Shirin, Shirin was very happy about it. She she didn't know why it is why it is put there in her finger. Without knowing, she felt very happy about it, and she started showing it to her friends. But then what happened? That was very engagement. That was at the stage of engagement. But then when whenever they used to meet, whenever they used to happen to meet, not deliberately, but they happen to meet Shirin, he will try to correct her regards certain things. He would just dictate, and he would try to correct her, and she used to get very angry with him, and she goes and complains to her mother, who is this you old man, who is he to dictate me, and who is he to correct me? That is the feeling, that is the complaint which Shirin used to make to people. Now, contrary, this uh, Shivya, she raised with so very God-minded person, so very, so much. We know the story of Molog, who had deceived him in that business of uh, tardy trees. They had purchased the trees, and they used to sell, take, take, take out tardy, and then had to supply to the shops, study shops. That business was actually grabbed by that Mulog. He took, Sheriyarji had become very old then, and that man was young. There were 3, 4 study trees, I mean, this areas which were in their charge. They were both were partners, and that actually the owner, literally the owner was Sheriyar only, but that man was just taken just for to have a manual work about that whole management of this business, and deceiving this Sheriyarji, who was very God-minded person, deceiving him, he took Sheriyar's signatures on 4 stamp papers, blank stamp papers. And then he manipulated the agreement, taking the entire property in his own account. Sheriyarji had only signed those papers, blank stamp papers he had signed, because he was so very simple and so very generous at heart. But that man was shrewd person. His name was Mulong. He was so very shrewd person that he deceived him. He drafted all the agreements in his favor. The whole property, he became the owner of that property. The case went to the court of law. The advocate knew that Sheriyar is not a safe person. He is a very simple person, very God-minded person, and there must be some mischief played by that Mulok. But then he, to save Sheriyar from that, to save his property, to regain his property, what advocate suggested to Sheriyar that you refuse to have signed those papers. And Sheriyar plainly refused to do that. He was so very true to his principles that he said that since I have signed those papers, it is true. That is the truth. I will never give a wrong declaration in the court of law. I will never behave that way. And as a result, all that property was lost to that person. At that time, what Sheriyarji told Mola is a beautiful piece of what he told is the statement which he has made.